welcome to episode 19 of the Being Ewethful podcast. I am Kim Beegler. I am the owner of Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill here in Halsey and in Harrisburg, Oregon. And I'm a yarn maker, basically. That's what I do. I own a wool mill. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And I hope that you enjoy this podcast. And if you're coming back to join me, thank you so much for continuing to watch. And I hope I'm giving you guys enough good stuff in these podcasts. Feel free to let me know, honestly, if there are things you want to hear about. It really does help me because I want to make sure I'm not just getting on here to talk. I mean, obviously I am, but I want to make sure I'm giving you guys good content too. So let me know if there's anything you want to hear about. I always appreciate hearing. So here we are, episode 19. All the places you can find us are in the show notes. I've stopped going through all that, but you can just go to the show notes, click, and you'll find us in all sorts of places. So the last 2 weeks, they've been kind of chill, actually. And by chill, I'm going to get a little bit distracted because if you guys remember the 3 baby chicks, my reject chicks, they're out and about in the world. And today is their first full day. And I am just keeping an eye on them. Elsie Mae, our dog, is like, aren't they supposed to be over there? She's our little shepherd that likes to keep things in line. Anyway, everyone looks good. So it's been pretty chill. I'm going to put a picture up here because we did our Scandinavian festivals in Junction City every year, not last year, but they had it again this year. And I go with a group of women that I spin with, and we spin up on a stage and just demoing spinning and talking to people about hand spinning and yarn and wool and all those wonderful things. So I'll post a picture here because you do have to dress up. And one of the things I got was these awesome earrings that I love so much. I bought 2 pairs, and he was a vendor there, and his business, I'll put it in the links, is he's Oregon Jewelry. Easy to remember, right? Oregon, and apparently he's on Etsy at Oregon Jewelry. So I'll put it in the link, but I got another pair too, and I just really like them. So anyway, that was my one find there. They also have lots of good food and dancing and demos and all sorts of things. I didn't get any of that. It was pretty warm, and the food lines get long, so I didn't have the patience for it this year. But back, and you'll notice, look at this. Wearing a little bit of wool. Okay, I have a tank top underneath and the sun is out, but the temperatures have cooled so much, and I'm out in the yard and in the shade, and so I thought I'm gonna wear this for a little bit. So other than that, Scandy Festival, I had the shop open on Saturday last week, which was so fun. We had a wonderful turnout. There were like 10 of us, I think, 10 or so coming and going of people sitting and just knitting and spinning and crocheting and talking. So that was wonderful. It was wonderful. And then it's just so nice to sit with people again. Guys, be easy. Velma Sue. She's after something. Farm life. If she gets something, I'll pause it. Because you won't, I'll delete it because you don't need to know. You don't need to hear it. Anyway, the shop was open, and then we had lots of people that came, and we had so much and had fun shopping. We had somebody from Canada, if you're watching, who watches the podcast, and she was down in the area visiting family, and so she came into the mill shop. Anyway, it was just really fun, and it was so fun to have people there. It's always fun to have people come to the shop and show support in that way. I know for lots of you can't come into the shop, and I know you support me in a million other ways, and I always want to send out a big thank you to all of you, whether you come in the shop, whether you buy online, whether you're watching, commenting, whatever you're doing. Trust me, it lifts me up. So thank you so much for all the support that you guys give. Shop was open. The weather's cooler. It is so much better. Basically the day my mom left, the temperatures dropped, and she comes back this week, and it should still be cool. We've had some smoky days, but a lot of days that are not smoky, which is amazing. And this morning it was really weird. Like, it smelled like smoke, but then I don't know what was going on. Anyway, right now it's beautiful and clear, and there's a tiny little breeze, and it's probably 70 degrees. It's perfect. So, okay. that's really what's been going on. I mean, it's been pretty chill. Sorry, my hair is like slowly falling down as we talk. Okay, farm update. Animal farm update. The animals are much happier with the cool weather too. And it's weird that it's August and it's cool, but we're gonna take it. And it actually rained for like, I think 5 minutes last night. I was upstairs in my craft room and Mitch was texting me saying, it's raining, and I could hear it. I could also hear the biggest the biggest owl hubbubaloo. I don't know what you want to say there. It was crazy. Like, there was just owl, and Mitch actually was like, what was going on with the owls? We think that there's a new baby that maybe one of mom or dad was showing the ropes to, because there was so much owl talk. Like, it was a lot of owl talk, and Mitch was running around saying he was checking on all our chicks and everything to make sure everybody was actually tucked in. And so everybody was safe, but the owls just were talking a lot last night. So who knows why? Maybe they were excited about the rain. So it's kind of just, we're just cruising along on the farm too. The chicks are taking less time. Like I said, our one batch of chicks, and we'll do the farm tour here in a minute, but our one batch of chicks yesterday evening, I let them out for the first time, and all the older hens behaved with them, which is nice. Not all, but all the ones they've met so far have been behaving. It tends to be the chickens that are up by our house are the kinder chickens, shall I say, and that's why they're up here, probably because they get beat up. Elma is like digging into the bushes. She's gonna get something here. So they're out and about. Our other chicks, Mama's got them. She's doing her job, so they're easy. The sheep are doing great. We just rotated them out, and you'll see in the farm tour too, another pasture, because it was nice and tall and green and needed to be mowed. June had a bath. I have a few little clips of that. I'm going to see how I can run it through. You don't need to watch 15 minutes of me giving June a bath, but it might be fun to see. It's basically like giving a giant dog a bath. And this was our best bath yet. She's so good. And for those of you that haven't known about June, June is a Shetland pony that we rescued about 2 years ago. We rescued her and her sister, Mini Sebastian. Little Miss Sebastian, sorry. Whoa, she was a mini horse. Let me get that right. And she lived for about a year before we had to let her go, because she was really old. And the two of them we rescued from a really bad neglect situation. So anyway, June is old. She's like in her 20s. She's stubborn as all get out and has forgotten that she ever lived a life of neglect, which is good for her. But it was our best bath. She enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The alpaca creepily enjoyed it. So I'll show you some videos of that. And the only other thing that has happened is one of my only jalapeno plant, I should say, in my garden box, gone. Gone. Roots, everything gone. And it had little baby peppers coming in, gone. And it's because my one turd, my tiniest of lambs, he's so tiny and he's so beautiful, and he loves to get out of any nook and cranny that he can. And so he got out one night, apparently ate my entire jalapeno plant. And apparently that was not bad for him, because he's fine, but bummer. So anyway, I'm going to go to the farm tour, let you guys check in on everybody and see what's going on. In the meantime, I'm going to go see what the heck Velma is trying to get to. And I'm wondering if that could be where eggs are. We're missing eggs. So anyway, I will be back in just a few minutes. Enjoy all the animals. Hey everyone, so I'm just waking up this crew, and look what I found, all the way up so big. Oh my goodness, we're getting so big. So impressed. Let's see how baby gets down. That's a big jump, baby. You can see they're all over the feeder now. Baby's like, how do I get down from here? But they're all huge, and they've got a little outside run now. And I'll try to see if I can get some video. It's not very easy to get video out there. But, and being a mama, bird on her back. Yep, there they go. There he went. All right, I'll walk around and we'll go say hi outside. And I've always got Elsie She's so funny. She's so alert if they're in a pen, but our other chicks are out now. She doesn't care. It's just if they're penned in that she's got to. Oh, no, they went back in. There's a little face. But Elsie's staring at them on the other side, so. Anyway, they're getting big. They're 3 weeks old now. All right, we'll move along and go check in on more. Okay, guys, we're starting off with these chicks. Elsie, leave them be. And this is their first full day out. Let me see if I can. So you can see they are living the dream. They found a pile of dirt, taking their first real baths. The other chicks are being nice to them, which is great. So I was wondering, I could hear them chirping and then finally figured out where they were. So happy babies. They are just over 6 weeks old now. So we're hoping that soon enough we'll pop them down in the coop one night with the other hens, but we're kind of letting the other hens get used to them. They're doing little dirt baths. Okay, let's move onward. Okay, you guys, I am on the gator, so you can see the chickens think I have treats. It's a little early, but I'm gonna ride the gator down so you don't have to bear with me through so much. So I'm gonna be quiet and just try to film while I drive down without my finger in the way and without running over any of my dogs or chickens for that matter. So the sheep are in a new pasture. Chickens are ready for their afternoon treats. Everybody's kind of up in the shade. He was so dark when he was born. Hi, Patrick. Here comes chickens running because they think I have treats for them, which I do not. We'll see if anybody will come up and say hi. The sun just started coming out. They're like, we don't want you. So now they're gonna go find shade elsewhere. In a line. The perfect sheep line. They've got a nice new fresh pasture going. It is a stunning day right now. I'm getting ready to clean the chicken coop. Lucky me. So here's lots of hens. Oop. Lots of hens. They come from all over. Gotta love my husband for him accepting the fact that his life has basically become full of chickens. It was full of dogs when we first met, and now it's full of chickens. So let's go say hi to June. Let her out early today. I don't know if you can see, but there's an alpaca sunbathing out there. We'll go see if we can catch her. Nigel. Cash. There's an alpaca head popping up at us. Lakshmi, let me guess, she's with Cuttlebug. What? No, Cuttlebug? Where is he? There's Junebug. And the chickens are still following me, don't worry. They're like, please, give us food. It's just their treats. They have plenty of food. You can see alpacas out there in the distance. sunbathing. It really is a beautiful day. You ready to get up, June? She's like, I'm going. It's time. It's time. So, while we're down here, we're going to check for eggs too. There's Miss Bug. Fresh Bug. You ready? She's like, get out of my way. You silly girl. Let's see if we can. There's chickens everywhere. Just peeking on eggs. Let's see if you can see the alpaca out there. They look dead. They're not. Cuddlebug must be relaxing somewhere else. Can't believe he's not with his girlfriend. Hi, ladies. Where is Cuddlebug? Is he in the shade somewhere? There he is. Hi, handsome. So, basically those two are living the dream out there. Hey, Amalama. Hi, Ama. Alright, we're going to get out of here. You can see there's a chicken in the feeder. Sometimes there's an egg under there. She's not a layer anymore. She's retired. Sometimes she'll... Alright, guys. We're moving onward. Alright, we're going to go pull eggs. You can see chickens are very helpful. Whoa, there's Rue. So helpful. And I see a chicken up top on this hay, which makes me wonder if there's eggs up there. I have been missing eggs yet again. We're in the transitional egg moment. So I'm always on the lookout for where they're hanging out. You can see her up there. And we've got somebody maybe. They've started laying over here again. Nope, no egg. So, we'll wander on. And I'll take a peek up there later. There's chickens everywhere. So, let's see if I can point. There's a little hay feeder by where that chicken is behind her. And between that hay feeder and the wall, they started laying eggs now. So, it's always a hunt. And the other spot they have since decided, this is what I get to clean right now. Don't worry, guys, I won't make you, let's see. There's chickens waiting in line to lay eggs. That's a spot. We'll see if there's anything up here. Yes. Well, we have a chicken and an egg. And we're not going to disturb them too much because I appreciate that they are laying. So, I'm going to go clean a coop. We'll let some hens take us out. Sorry, my sheep are not being super cooperative. I'll try one more time and see if I can get a little video of them. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm back. I have no idea what Velma was getting into. She didn't get it, whatever it was. So, hallelujah for us. Okay, harvest update. There isn't one. So, technically, we're post-harvest because I kind of call it the harvest season, but really it's the farming season. So we're post-harvest because all the seed is up. We talked about it last episode. So all the grass seed is up off the fields. We're just making dirt. Literally just making dirt. That's what everybody's doing, making dirt. So it's just dirt, and there's like a low level of dirt. I've talked about it. There's a low level of dirt in the air. There's a low level of dirt in our house. There's just a level of dirt. But that's really what they're doing. We're running a little bit ahead of schedule still because it hasn't rained. And so I picked Mitch up from work at 4 yesterday, which doesn't ever happen. But, and I'll tell you what happens when I pick him up from 4, at work at 4, which won't happen again probably. Even during the winter, that's really early. So we come home and then we both split and start running around doing a million things. So he didn't even come in the house. He literally had a cup of tea that he made at his shop, at the farm shop, that he drank in the car while I drove us home. And then he's like, because I'm not going to make it at home. And then he runs. I didn't even see him. He just went out and started running irrigation lines and doing all sorts of stuff. So, and then meanwhile, I went the other way, like letting horses out, pulling eggs. And so it's farm life. It's farm life. You just kind of keep running until there's no sun anymore, which I'll talk about in a little bit because I am trying to be more mindful about doing that. Now there's a dog under my porch. Sorry. Anyway, so basically they're just making dirt. They're driving around in circles. Everybody's driving around in circles making dirt and wondering where the rain is. It's a little foreboding, honestly. It's a little odd. So after the dirt is all made, basically the seed, all the fields that are not perennials need to be reseeded, replanted. And so, but you don't want to plant unless there's rain coming, because otherwise seed is just going to sit there without any rain to help it grow. So once everything's turned to dirt, then it's just going to be a matter of sort of waiting, which is weird because we just don't know when the rain's coming back. And you look at it and it's a whole week of no rain still. And it's been a lot of no rain. So anyway, basically they're making dirt and things break and then they fix it and then they're making dirt. So because they don't have much excitement there, I'm going to do a new segment that's called Things We Find on the Farm. Okay, are you guys ready for this segment? So basically, because we live on an old property, and I'm sure everybody kind of knows that they didn't always just, there wasn't always garbage service. So a lot of stuff gets just buried out around the property over, years and years ago. They would just bury stuff. And then also our house has a shady history. So there's weird stuff always popping up. But I thought this has been an exceptional week for finding weird things on the farm. So first thing I found, what every farm girl needs, or boy, whoever, kid, some Mardi Gras beads. Who wouldn't? And what happens is you're walking along and you're like, what the hell is that? And then most of the time we're so busy we just ignore it until it actually is like in our face. So here's some Mardi Gras beads. Anybody? Okay. Number 2 thing. And a lot of it is because, we're irrigating, the animals are moving, so things just shuffle up out of the dirt. And it's just a fun thing to see, like, what's coming up next. So I found this in the pasture. It's not like it's the pasture by the road. An arrow, of course. So there's your arrow. Hey. Nigel's trying to chew on the next thing that I found. This is the one that got me thinking, now this is a great segment for you guys. And I'm going to tell you, I walked past this a million times in our backyard and thought, oh, whatever. The dogs find so much stuff. And I think Mitch walked past it a couple times. And right now they're like, give that back to us. That's a bone. That's teeth. So that's what we find on the farm. I don't, who knows? Animal of some form. Things you find on the farm. And our dogs found that. And because, of course, it's like a natural fun bone for them to chew on. So anyway, I thought that was a fun segment. And hopefully there'll be a lot more of those. Maybe with less bones, but probably not. So that was fun. Hope you enjoyed my newest segment. Things we find on the farm. Okay, onward to things that I am working on personally. So, speaking of running around like maniacs, one thing in my last vlog, I was tired and cracking myself up, but tired. And I realized, okay, we got to take it down a notch. Besides the heat, it just gets exhausting to get, when you're just running from the time you get up until the time you get down. So there's a chicken behind me. I see a chicken somewhere. So I'm trying to become more mindful and sit down at some point in the day, because a lot of time I barely even sit down to eat my lunch. So, and that means I actually ate lunch, which I have gotten much better at because I actually started ordering meals that come to my door ready for me to eat. So I try to sit for 45 minutes to an hour, usually kind of late afternoon, somewhere 3 to 4, whenever I get home from the mill. I sit and I go to my craft room or I go wherever and I'm super mindful and I grab whatever project I want to work on, and 45 minutes I just sit. It is a game changer, you guys. And if you can find the time, if your days are so hectic and you're so exhausted by the end of the day, and a lot of times I don't get a lot of knitting in or spinning or whatever because I just run. I mean, the list of things to try to do in a day, if I told you my list of things that I'm staying home to do today, there's no way in heck I'm going to get it all done. Making sure my chicks are okay. Sorry, guys. So anyway, if you can, I would recommend it. It has given me energy to, like, I sit for those 45 minutes and then I get up and I feel like a whole new person. And I thought about taking naps, but I just don't want to get, I know naps are wonderful for a lot of people, but I am nervous about getting into a habit for me where I will hit a wall at a certain point in the day and feel like I need to take a nap. So I thought, instead of taking a nap, not saying that's bad if you do. That's, everybody has their thing to get through. I just thought for me, I would rather use that time in a different way, to still sit, to still relax, to still be mindful, but to make in the process. And then if I'm really tired one day, then go take a dang nap. But anyway, something to kind of take the edge off a little bit from these long days, and also from all the shit that's going on in the world. I mean, I'm sorry, you guys, but it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And I was just listening to a podcast, and I can't remember what podcast, but they were talking about being more optimistic. And I consider myself an optimistic person, especially since I met Mitch, because he is an optimistic person and he has taught me some ways to be more optimistic, but I'm always trying more. Anyway, this podcast was like the top 3 things that you could do immediately to become a more optimistic person. And we can always use more optimism in our world, right? Always, always, always. The first thing was smile more. So easy, right? Just put a smile on your face more. And be mindful about it. I thought that was great. The second one was turn off the news. Oh my gosh. So we don't watch the news on TV at all. We get a paper that we're very mindful about which paper we get. And we both kind of, when we're eating dinner, we'll sit and read. And then we both have apps. Mitch is endlessly reading news and stuff. Like, it's amazing how much I can say what's going on here. Give me your take on it about anything. And he knows. It truly is amazing, and he is an asset to me for news. But we get the paper. I have an app on my phone. I do not look at Facebook news. I do not look at any of that stuff. I look at very specific things for my news. And then I turn it off. Anyway, turn off the news. Like, the endless news cycle on TV, it's detrimental. I don't think there's any way to say it other than that. And then the third thing was forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, like letting things go, not just letting them go, but really being mindful to take in and try to forgive. So anyway, if you need any of those things, sitting down during the day, being more mindful, being more optimistic, it's a lot going on these days, and it's hard to not let people get you down, and it's hard to not let the world get you down. And so I'm doing the best to self-care, right? So anyway, back to what we're doing. Knitting. So you guys, I'm super proud of you all. I don't know if you picked up those damn projects, but if you did, hurrah, hurrah. I am continuing on my project. So that shawl I was working on, I'm still chugging along. And then it kind of inspired me, like, oh, you know what? I need to do more. So I'm being mindful about rotating through my projects. So I have 4 things I'm working on, and every day I work on 2 of them, especially since I'm taking this 45 minutes to an hour. And then in the evenings, I try to get some time in too. So every day, even if it's just a row or 2, I'm going through each project. And it keeps it pretty exciting for me, right? Keeps me on my toes. So let me show you. So one thing, the half and half cowl that I started probably 3 months ago, right? Because it was the Yarn Club yarn from last time. Here's what I did. I took it all the way back, guys. I took it back. So I was not liking the fabric. It was too tight, the fabric that I was getting. And somehow, when I took it apart, I was knitting on size 9.5 and size 10. So I scrapped it, pulled it off. I'm doing size 11. So this skein I hadn't used very much of, so I didn't wash. The other skein is totally still in, so I'm just pulling it apart. I will re-soak it, start over, because there's so many kinks. And this was just a small part that has the kinks in it from where I knitted and it set in. Anyway, so now I'm doing, and I'm so much happier with it. So I recast it on last night. And it's part of why I put it away, which is part of why we put stuff away. We're like, this isn't quite right. I'm not quite happy with this. Maybe I'm bored with it, whatever. So I think I'm gonna do better on this now. And this, my mom actually did this with hers too. I can't remember what size she was knitting on, but she's knitting the same project. She ripped it out. So mom, good inspiration. Also a super good reminder to look at your knitting. And if you don't like it, or your crochet or whatever you're working on, if you're not liking it, just stop and think about it and look at it. I mean, it's part of the reason we make mistakes and everything too, right? So if you don't like the fabric you're making, stop, start over, or rip it out and never start over again. I am not a ripper, so this is kind of new to me. So, Velma! Oh, I'll be back. We're back. Nobody has been injured. Although Velma came back with a limp, but she probably deserves it. So, okay. Onward. So we're working on that. We're working on my sweater. We're working on that shawl. And we're working on my socks. So let's get to the socks. The nitty gritty of the socks. Here's what happened. So I showed you guys my magic loop. Loving it. I was loving it. Super happy with it. Was telling everybody love it. Broke the tip of my needle. So I was using bamboo needles. So note to self, or note if you're not a big sock knitter, you may want to go metal, because I mean, you naturally are knitting tighter when you knit on socks, and the yarn is a little bit, in theory, your yarn's a little bit stronger than your average yarn. So, okay, so needle tip broke. That's the end of that, especially when you're working, well, with any yarn really, but especially if you have mohair, it will just catch up on anything. So I didn't have another set of 40 cable 1.5 needles. So here's what we did. And it's great because it gives you guys another chance for me to see. And maybe there are some of you that knit your socks like this instead of magic loop 2 at a time. So now, and I'm going to include a little video. So I have got 2 circular needles that I am knitting on now. So basically I'm knitting every, Sweetie, please. I'm knitting, okay, so I'm going to do a little video to show you this in case you've only done magic loop, or you think I'm insane for doing any of this, or whatever. Okay, first let's focus on the socks. Holy cow, you guys. So this is our Prineville yarn, which I've talked about endlessly. It's the first time I've knit with it in a while again. Oh my God. Look at how stunning. Do you see how well it's showing? I've just gotten a look at how well it's showing that lace pattern off. It's just, and the colors, and I absolutely am obsessed with this. So it makes it even harder than I'm trying to be mindful and move from pattern to pattern, but it's just really turning out stunning. So I am going to pause for a minute and let you guys see a little video of how I'm doing this. And I honestly don't know which I like better. I definitely 2 at a time, no doubt about it. It's the way to knit socks for me. It's just, and I've ordered more needles, so we're gonna see, but I'm just gonna go ahead and finish my socks on the 2, and then next socks I will do magic loop again and see which one I do like. And we were discussing it on Saturday at the knitting group at the mill, and it does make for a tighter, you know, like when you switch, this is a lot easier to keep tight between your needles than it is, I think, in magic loop, from what I had experienced, but I had not experienced that much before I broke my needle. So anyway, I'm going to stop here, give you guys a quick little video on this, and then I'll be right back. And it's quick, guys, so if you're not, and whatever, you can still zip through. Okay. All right, here we are with our 2 socks on 2 needles. So I have it laid out here so you can see that this side of each of the socks is on 1 needle. It's on this needle. Ends are here. And then if you flip it, the back is on this needle. So I'm going to hold it up for you like this so you can kind of see. And they're of course crossed a little bit, but you can see what I mean there. So when you go to knit, all you're doing is you're going to slide. So this is the one that I'm going to knit. I know because my yarn's right here. So I slide it down this needle so it's at the tip like you would with any knitting. Then I go to the other side, same needle, pull it out, start knitting. So I'm going to knit across, it's going to end up on the same needle. Then I'm going to slide this sock down, knit across, it's going to end up on the same needle. Isn't that amazing? So each side always stays on the same needle. It's really just management. And then to flip, you know, you'd get to the other side. You actually kind of flip your bag because you're keeping track of your yarn. And then you're on the other side and you do the same thing. You'd slide your needle down, slide your needle out, start knitting. I hope that makes sense. And I'll try to find a link for you guys two at a time on 2 needles. But it really is super easy. I'm sold. Okay, so I hope that inspires you to try one of these 2 ways. I'm telling you, I am not a sock knitter, and this is definitely changing my sock knitting game. I mean, you've seen really the only big thing is you feel like you're not making as much progress, but then you're like, because I'm knitting 2 at a time, right? So in the end, it's better progress because I'm going to finish them faster. Okay, weaving. I finished my scarf, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to try to step back and let you guys see. And you're going to see that I am basically wearing my pajamas on the bottom, so I apologize. But look at how pretty it is. Oh my gosh. I am so in love with this. And it may or may not end up, it is definitely a little bit more of an itchy, some of the yarn is a little bit scratchier. I can wear it, and especially when I'm cold, I could definitely wear it, but not for everybody. And it may end up, I don't know, I love it so much. So I'm going to show you something I did, because it was the first time I've done this. My notes are flying. And I'll put a picture too so you can see well. So that is the hem stitch. So hem stitching is basically, rather than actually knotting these at the end, it's got a little, and you can see there's a little chunk, those little, so you do use a needle. Don't panic, it really does not take that long to do if you're not a needle person. And I'm going to go grab my other weaving so you can see the difference. Okay, now a chicken's going to talk. So you can see that. So those I actually just did little ties. I just literally did little knots there, versus here with hem stitch. Can you see the difference? I'm actually taking the yarn and just wrapping. I'm taking a separate piece of yarn and wrapping it. I think she just laid an egg under my porch. So anyway, that was exciting, and it's the first time I've done that, and it's so easy, and I think it just, my mom has talked about it, and it does give just a really clean edge to it. So anyway, done, you guys. You see how fast I did that? And that was like not as fast as I wanted to do it. So, ma'am, move along. She's like, no, I'm going to go look for that egg later. Okay, weaving, hand spinning. I have been hand spinning. So I'm working on the giveaway from last week, which went to a knitter. So I'm hand spinning that for her, and I'll include a little picture of that in here. And then I started working on this, which I got a bobbin done because I was at Scandi Festival. So that is, so this is not my wool. This is actually from Abundant Earth Fiber, and they are a mill up in Washington. And this is East Frisian. How distracting is the chicken screaming in the background? Okay, sorry guys, the chicken. Okay, she's kind of moved on from the backyard. So this is East, and this is the other one. So a client brought this to me as a gift. So I am spinning it. So there's one. This is the other that she got me. So this is East Frisian, which is a specific breed of sheep. And it's funny because I was spinning something else at Scandinavian festival, and we were up on the stage, and then I finished that bobbin, so I changed out the bobbin and I went to start spinning this brand new fiber to me, and I was like, whoa, stop the presses. This is much shorter than what I'm used to. So I'm used to knitting with wool that has a staple length, 3, 5, 5 inches is probably my happy place. So I had to stop and I had to do what I should always do when you get a new fiber and see what it's like. So if I just pull a little bit of this out, it's not very long. It's like 2 inches, which means you have to spin it a little differently because the shorter the fibers are, some of it's closer to 3, but it was significantly shorter than what I had just finished spinning. So the shorter the staple length of the wool, the more twist it takes to keep it together. So it's something you have to take into account. So I really had to stop, look at my staple length, and really anytime you start spinning a new fiber, you should pull out a little bit and say, what is this like? How far are my hands going to have to be apart or close in this circumstance to get the yarn I want? So the shorter the staple length, the more, and you can see as I pull it, it's pretty short. It gets even shorter. So the shorter the staple length, the more twist it needs to keep the fibers together. So something to know. Okay, so that's what I'm spinning, and then I'm spinning the other thing, and I'll put a picture of that. And that's it. And I'll put a link to Abundant Earth. Okay, so what's going on at the mill? So much is going on at the mill now that the weather has cooled, and I'm busy. So one thing I'm doing right now is making dryer balls, which I haven't talked about before, but dryer balls. We had an order for some, and I wasn't really happy with the ones I had in stock, so I started a new batch. Sorry, truck going by. And my favorite wool for making dryer balls, anything felted really, is Lincoln wool. If you can get Lincoln wool, if you look at it sideways, it's going to felt for you. So dryer balls will be back in stock. And aren't they pretty? They're in grays or usually in whites. So I've been working on those. I've been working in the business a lot as well as on the business. And by in the business, I mean working on literally like on books and growth and all the things that go into keeping the business running besides the actually making of the yarn and fibers. So, and I spend 85% of my time thinking about my business. It's crazy. And I think any small business owner does. Like, you're passionate about it. You're constantly thinking about your growth and your scaling and your social media and all the things that come with it. And then in the meantime, trying to make the product or sell the product that you make. So anyway, that is something that is big in my mind, is always like, how do I reach people, or how do I educate people about knowing where their wool comes from, or why it's important not only to me as a business owner, but to all the people that are growing that wool. So anyway, that's something that is always going on. It's not at the mills per se, although it is, because I'm always in my head when I'm at the mill too, but it's just something that it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey that you guys are on with me. So thanks for watching. If you have any ideas, let me know. Okay. I've been doing a ton of dyeing, and you'll see in the videos coming up why, because I have mostly been dyeing my stuff in the wool lately, which I love. And I am talking about how I'm going to scale up on that, which is not necessarily scaling up on how much stuff I produce, but on how I shift it a little bit. Because so the difference is when I say I dye in the wool, meaning that I wash the wool, it's in lock formation, and then I put it in the dye pots. So it's pre-carding, it's pre-spinning. The reason I love it so much is that I can add so many different colors. Like if I'm doing blues, I do all different shades of blue, and then by the time it gets to the carder, I'm blending it there. And it adds such a different texture and just uniqueness to it. It also makes it more saturated because, kind of in a different way, but it makes it more saturated because once a yarn is already spun and you put it in the dye pot, the dye has to work its way through those fibers that are tightly spun. Whereas if you put loose fiber into the dye pot, bam, the dye just kind of has to jump onto those fibers. Once those fibers get spun, it saturates the color even more. So I just am in love with it. And I'm in love with it, honestly, because I did that fiber club not too long ago. And then I started seeing everybody's hand spun, and I was like, this is what I love. So I've been doing a lot of dyeing, and you'll see in the videos. And I have fiber club from last time, which I didn't show you. I have a little batch of border luster, and all of them were dyed and then blended in different ways. And I have yarn club video. So yarn clubbers, if you don't want to see anything, stop before the mill video starts. So I'll tell you that I don't show you the yarn, and I don't tell you what the yarn is comprised of, but you will see the fiber and you will see the color of the fiber. So if you want to see none of that, then at the end of this, before the video starts, just stop, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks again, and you'll get yarn in the mail. The giveaway, by the way, is going to be one skein of Yarn Club. So if you want to enter the giveaway, comment below how annoying my chickens are. Just kidding. Comment below whatever you want to comment. I would love comments about things you'd like to hear about or see about, or for me to talk about more, whether it's business, whether it's mill, whether it's farm life. It helps me, gives me kind of some direction about where to go. So I think that's it, you guys. I think I'm going to go to the mill tours and then tap out from here. So I hope that was enough podcast. It was definitely long enough, that's for sure. So thank you all so much for watching. Everybody, stay healthy out there. Wear your mask, please. Especially, just wear your mask. No, especially, just wear your mask, please. If you're not vaccinated, maybe do some more research and see if maybe it's time to get vaccinated. I don't think COVID's going away. I'm supposed to have festivals in October. We hope we'll have festivals in October. In case you're wondering, I should be at Fiber Fusion up in Washington in October. And the very next weekend, I will be down here in Albany at Oregon Flock and Fiber. So 2 places you can see us, hopefully with masks on, assuming things don't get worse and they get canceled, which we're being optimistic that they will not, with a smile even. So anyway, wear your mask, maybe get a vaccine, be safe out there, be kind to your neighbors, even if you don't agree with them. Makes the world a better place. So, and don't forget to do some self-care. All right, you guys, thank you for watching. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Enjoy the mill tour. August, gosh, what month is it? So this is our Prineville that I dyed in the wool. So you can see the locks are all dyed up in like mainly in purples and a little blues and some pinks, but when it blends together into a really nice purple. So this is kind of the last batch that's going on, and we'll flip around and I'll let you see. So this is border luster and mohair, so you can see some mohair in there. And here it is coming out. Let me turn a light on because I just have been, oh, sorry, my cat's trying to trip me while I get to the light. That's not the light we want. Sorry, guys. That's a little bit better. Anyway, there it is coming out. So I'll run her and you can see it coming out in there. So pretty. Okay, I thought I'd show you this other little quick fiber that I'm doing, and it is so pretty. So this is the last of the fiber that was left from Fiber Club, this border luster. So I dyed it up kind of reds, and mostly reds, and it was a gray, so that's how it turned out. And then I blended it with some alpaca and some mohair, just whatever I felt like throwing in. And this is how it's turning out. It's so pretty. so fluffy from the alpaca. And the mohair just adds a little bit of shine to it. So hopefully you can see. And there was only about a pound of the wool left, so there's not a ton of this roving. So if you like it, jump on and grab it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so here it is on the carder. And like I said, I'm not even gonna say what it is. I'm just gonna show it so you guys can see. It is literally my dream come true. And I've realized, like, if you're gonna be creative, love what you do and what you're working with. And this is me in my happiest of places. Like, I could probably card this all day long. And so here it is coming off the carder. I will let you guys see this running. Oh my gosh. It's so amazing. Okay, I'm gonna stop it and we'll go see, because it is over here going through the draw frame, which just stopped. But you can see it. So this is my second pass through the draw frame. So this is the last pass and it will be going to the spinner. I mean, look at, oh my gosh. Again, I'm not telling you what's in it. So here is just piles of fluff ready for the carder. And here it is. I just can't. It's so exciting. I'm about to spin it, and that is so exciting. And I'm not going to show you guys. So I'm sorry for that. And there's Wish. Always right by me if she's not outside under the building. And then the only thing, I'm not really washing even, but you can see I've just been dyeing up a storm. So this is some of it dry. This is kind of the last batch. Hopefully I have enough. Might not, but that's okay. We can go back in if we have to. And then there's like another bucket here that I have to rinse out, and it's got some fun different colors in it too. So anyway, and I'm getting ready to steam up a little bit of Prineville yarn. So I've got my steamer on. And other than that, spinner's warmed up. I'm about to do a test run. And it's a pretty quick mill tour, but I have other videos, so I'll include those in here. You probably already have watched them by the time you see this. So I'll just say goodbye, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks. And thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody.